Hello everybody, Dren608 here with another Starship Troopers playthrough video. I do these via vlog with comments. My opponent is Board Game Geek handle Drueding. I'm going to say drueding, but I'm not 100% sure about that pronunciation. Rather than going through the whole assignment process and the, I've already assigned my HEs, which is all I get in this, plus I get some engineers down here. But Scenario 2, you don't get a lot of toys like you do in Scenario 1. And I've already done the drop procedure, so we're going to actually be starting. You can see on turn 1, he gets to bring up a guy, so he's going to get 5 points because I can't do anything to him on turn 1. So that's where we're at. This is also at the end of turn 1. This is my first beacon, which is laid down for the engineers to come in. I decided to put them kind of closer to the mountains to try and prevent him from getting too many beam weapons, hopefully, on it. I don't know if that's going to work or not, but that was my thought. Because there are a lot of points. It's like 7 points for engineer or something like that. And then V17 is the center here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where did I put the... it's here. It doesn't stack, so I'm just going to show you. This is where my center of my perimeter is. So again, I tried to move it this way to give him less mountains to get points out of, because that's the trick in Scenario 2 is they just keep popping guys up in the mountains. And I tried to concentrate about 3 of my squads here in the mountains to try and deal with that very thing. So we'll see how that goes. So that was me just showing him where things were. I'm not sure what we're doing here. Oh, so he made a breach there. And he made a breach there. I don't know why that breach is visible. Oh, because he brought somebody out. And he did some ranged weapons attacks here. I was showing him where all my leaders are because those give him most points. And then he put a breach there. Put a guy up. Actually, put a couple guys up there. That was his special functions phase. I'm not sure what else he's doing. Oh, he brought up some... Tried to bring up 5 guys, and I'm like, you're only allowed to stack 4. So he did. And then he brought some creatures up there. And he put a breach there. Brought up a beam weapon because he's going to shoot right away. Not sure what else he did here. So I think he fired at the platoon leader. And he rolled a 5 at 3 to 1. Which does a heavy damage, and I rolled a 2, so I lost anything I might have had on him. And this beam weapon shot at D7. Couldn't shoot there because he went through the mountains. And at 3 to 1, he got a 2. Which is a stun. So why do I have a heavy damage on there? I'm really confused. He had a 3-1 and he rolled a 2. It should be a stun. Right. Then he moves. I think those are some warriors. He moves those guys. And I think that was his moves. He's going to do some close combating here. So it's close combat phase. This is like 2, 4, 6 to 1. The die roll of 4, so that's is it KIA? Oh, I was trying to. And then here he has a 4 to 1. And he rolls a 5, which makes him go WIA. And then I rolled a couple of dice for lost weapons, since he doesn't know what I have. And he's done with his, just get this off the map. So he's done with his turn. I go into my special functions phase. I don't really have one. And it's my movement. Oh, we had to get into turn 2. That's just me getting us into the right turn. So I'm in the movement phase. There we are. Of turn 2. I don't know what I'm doing. There we go. Oh, and he blew up a mine on me, of course. And he rolled a 4 at 4 to 1, so. And there was a bomb there, which he rolled a 2 at 4 to 1. And the reason why I'm putting an all rules thing on these guys is because they are stunned, but I don't want them to be flippable when I, unflip my guys at the end of my turn. So I put this on there, and then I will go around and stun them after I've cleared all the stuns from last turn. Same thing with this guy up here. That's why he has 2 heavies. Just trying to figure out some way to mark that. Because when you're stunned in the arachnid turn, you also lose your next turn. When you're running around and run over mines, you're not only stunned for this turn, but you're stunned for your next turn. Because it specifically says your next turn. So this turn doesn't really count. What the heck am I doing? Oh, he blew up another mine here. Whoops, I'm hitting the back button. So here I am just moving my guys around, trying to close in on his guys that are out there. Didn't see any breaches out here, so I'm trying to move everybody back to where he seems to be having all his breaches. I do spread out some. So I have this guy, this guy, this guy. So that was 3 missile launchers. at 3-1, -1. So, and on the Terran attack table, should have been a miss. Maybe I had a fourth guy in there. I think I had 4. I just didn't mark them all. And then this guy's 1, 2 of them. And since this guy's KI-8, I can actually missile into there. So I got a 2, a 5, and a 4. So I killed 2, 3. 6-1 odds. I needed to roll 1 to miss him. The stack down here. Turned out to be a worker, so I attacked him at 2-1 and managed to roll a 6. So even a 6 -1 at 2-1 kills the worker. So yay, I did something. Unfortunately, I have a whole bunch of guys here that are just going to get pounded by this beam weapon. So unfortunately, I can't do anything about that. That stack there. Could make up my... Oh, and he was there. He blew me up. What do I want? He rolled a 6. So killed that leader. Then at the end of my third turn here, the retrieval boat lands, and the next turn the engineers and ST and everything will get out in the movement phase. Actually, that should have landed at turn 2, end of turn 2. Where are we at? Yeah, we're at turn 2. And so, during my jump phase, he blew this up. So he killed his own guy, but, I mean, it was worth it for everything he got out of it. Now he's doing attacks. So he did really well with that nuke 6. Was in the right place. Now he's attacking 2 hexes out. Once he was done, then I went on and kept moving my guys in the jump phase here. Now he's in his turn. I don't know why he did that. Anyway, he's just popping breaches and bringing people out all over the place. Keep getting his 5 points per turn, and then he brings out these guys. He's committing to everything really early. I usually wait till mid-game to commit all these beam weapons, but so he blew up this guy, took him from a heavy to a wounded. Did a heavy down there with that beam weapon. I'm not sure. I think he beam weaponed me again and got light damage on me. And then he went out here to try and get this guy. In close combat, he's trying to get KIAs, which he's doing. And he got this guy turned into a wounded in action, so I have 3 of them hanging there. And what did he attack here? I guess he attacked it 1-to-1, which didn't work. And then we get into my movement phase. So I stack everybody up on the I think I called in the clans here. Several battles. I was showing him how ranges work. So I was just trying to stack up as many guys as I could to get to him, get the best odds. And now I get my air cars coming in. We just bring in the air cars so he doesn't know where the ST is, and I've recorded that off board here in the notes section, just so you guys know how one of the ways to do this. That's not notes. What's wrong with me? Notes in the delayed, like which car is he in? Their car 2 has the ST. Where was I putting the boat, which I've already revealed. This is when the final boat's going to come in, turn 8, because the turn ends in 10 turns. So I just kind of brought air cars up here. Worried about him when I get somebody out of the air car. I'm worried about it being in a nuke hex and him just blowing up whatever it is. Okay, now I'm doing some ranged weapon attacks here. I think it might be this one up here. No, but it was that hex. Because that guy became a KIA when he attacked me. So I missed the beam weapon, but I got the ground troops. And then I think I attacked here and I missed one and got the rest. Then I attacked here with 2 guys and I rolled a 6, even on -1. That eliminated him. So I'm getting rid of some of his beam weapons now. He's down 2. Did I? So then we go into close combat, and we went ahead and took this and put it on the battle board, because it was a mess. So I was lining them up to see what kind of odds I could get. And I could get a 2-to-1 and a 4-to-1 and 2 3-to-1s, it looked like. Or maybe I made it 2 4-to-1s, a 3-to-1 and a 2-to-1. That's what it was. So I rolled a 2, disrupted that one, rolled a 5, killed that one, rolled a 6, killed that one, rolled a 2, disrupted that one. So took all our guys and put them back. Oops. So that's how you use the battle board when you have a real big stack like that. It's real simple to at least spread them all out like that. I think that was this die roll. It was 8 to 3, so it was 2 to 1, minus 1, so that didn't do anything to him. We're in another battle there. I'm not sure what this other die roll is. I'm missing a die roll here. I made a die roll and I don't know what it was for. What was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 4 is 32, 33, 34. Maybe I just went for a big 3 to 1 there. No, I guess I split those up. Then I do my jump phases. And I believe that we are into his turn again. He brings out bugs. He took the beam weapon down and put bugs out instead. I think this is him moving around in his tunnels. Because he had to repair, from what I remember, he had to repair a bunch of tunnels that he blew up here as well. Now he's in his movement phase. These guys kind of scatter. This guy's going to try and hide behind the mountain. What was it? Those guys moved out. So he has an attack there. Rolls a 4. A 1-to-1. I think stuns me. And here it was a 1-to-1 as well. She missed. And then he was done. So I reveal which S&T card the guy is in. So he got out of this car and immediately turns himself on. So there's my 10 hex range. And that's one of the things that I do not like about any of the modules I've seen. There's no Terran tunnel segments for them to be able to place. So you kind of have to make stuff up. And what he did is he tried to just grab tunnel segments and just, I don't know what we decided on. Yellow? So he's just trying to put out tunnel segments for me here. I'm going to zoom this out a little bit. There we go. So you can get an idea of how his tunnels show up within my range here. So that's the tunnels I know of. So I move these guys out here to try and kill that guy. I decided to go ahead and move my air cars down here. Now, I made a miscalculation here. I was counting segments. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's a 5 segment here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. So I figured his brains had to be down this way somewhere. And what I didn't count on is he had an extra 3. So his brains are actually back a little bit farther than where I put my engineers. And of course, we're going to stack up my guys to try and get rid of this. And it turns out that there's a bomb there. So he blows me up and kills his own worker. But that's one of the tricks you can do with the bugs, is to suck them in to do stuff like that. So I ran out here to make sure that, I'm pretty sure those are workers. So then we're just going to try and finish off the guys. Since there's nothing left down here, I just said I'm running away from this end of the segments. I mean, if you can, that breach happens to be on the outside of my perimeter. Okay. And so I think I'm doing some range shots here, because I had a bunch of ranged guys in there, which I didn't have when I had the first close combat. I disrupted that one, and then now we're in close combat. I had more than enough, 5 and a 6. Took those 2 out. Then down here it was 8, 12, 16 to 3. It was a 5 to 1. I think this one I may have done. I made sure I attacked whichever one he said had the guy in it first. And the last one was a 1, so he survived. And then jump, move, get the heck out of Dodge. I was trying to think about whether I should leave one guy there, and like, he still has a brain weapon, or a beam weapon. So I didn't want to give it to him right away. And what we did is, whenever we were picking things up, I would put a WIA on top of the guy that's carrying the wounded, so we knew that he couldn't do anything. It's not that that's the wounded in action guy, it's that that's the guy that's carrying him, so we know he can't use any special weapons and stuff. Oh, I had to turn that on in case he built anything inside my range when he gets to his turn. I was trying to figure out where I wanted to actually have all my guys end up. And okay, he's bringing up guys here. And his beam weapon went and shot my scout, which I didn't really understand, but I would have thought it would have shot one of the Marauders because they're worth more points. Then he moves away. These guys are just trying to get into my perimeter. I know what they're trying to do. So now we're in my turn, I guess. So I dropped out my 2 engineers, and I brought this engineer here. And it's really totally miscounted. You'll see his bug complex at the end. And it's very actually ingenious what he did. What are we doing? Alright, there we go. There was another bomb there. And now I'm starting to... And there's another bomb there. So he got another KIA. So he's doing a real good job of sucking me into the bombed places. And he managed to kill my my ST with this beam weapon. I wasn't paying attention. I put my guy right here, which was right next to a breach, which was dumb. It should have been put someplace where I knew there was no sitting in breach. Would have made him have to build one. So that was dumb on my part. So this guy attacks there, gets that guy. Ranged weapon attacks there, ranged weapon attacks there, and gets him. Did I have another ranged attack that rolled a 1? I think so. Not sure where that was at. Now we're just doing close combats here, reducing the bug stacks. And the reason why I moved this guy from here in my jump movement, I moved him on top of that, is because his ranged weapon comes before movement, so they can't be shot by that ranged weapon. That weapon can shoot up here someplace, but it can't shoot those 2 guys, which means those 2 guys will have a chance to do something about it. Now we're in Arachnid turn 6, so it's getting near the end of the game here, kids. Actually, I think I forgot to finish my jump movement there. He's doing a bunch of things down below. Built a breach there, which should have told me right then I was in the wrong place. He moves away to be able to shoot me in the future. Moving my wounded. Just picking up my wounded guys and trying to get them back towards the beacon best I can. And I was trying to figure out how close I had to get to be able to shoot him. Okay, so there, that's how farther I need to get. So that's where I went. And then he set off another nuke 6. So he just really suckered me into a lot of stuff. Oops, I'm doing backwards. So here when a nuke 6, you got another guy, and he gets a bunch of die rolls to knock me all out of screwed up. So needless to say, I'm getting totally crushed here. Scenario 2 for the Terrans, you're pretty much going to get crushed, especially when you're playing with all the rules. One of the things that I'm surprised that he had 2 nuke 6s, but then in the end, it does make sense as well to do some of this. I managed not to kill that worker, so I'm dealing with a whole bunch of disrupts here. I'm doing my jump moves. Now we're in his turn 7. He's bringing up more guys. In turn 6, I had dropped down a couple of things. So a couple of nukes are going to go off here. I thought I was close enough to being those are my 2 nukes that went off. And he sets off another bomb. Seem to be walking over his bombs everywhere. I'm not sure that he missed. I think there's one bomb left that I didn't actually hit. There's another one. Since we're getting close to turn 8, it's like I need to get the H out of Dodge. And retrieve all my guys. So that's why you see me like wholesale moving into this general direction. It's just I have to get there as fast as I can. But down here I have several single carry woundeds. That's the darker shade there because single carry you can go faster. Did an attack there and got rid of that one. I only disrupted this one here. So again, I'm not going to get my plus 10 for a turn. I did finally, I think I attacked this guy at 1-1 close combat. I missed him. So now I'm just, again, I'm moving guys in as fast as I can. And then, where are we at? Nothing's happening. I don't know what, it must be him doing things underground. It doesn't report them to the log, which it used to, but so we're into my special function phase. I load up those 2. This guy drops another nuke. Trying to run everywhere where I knew he'd already set off bombs. Put the beacon down, and then I have to do another scatter. That's where it is. Yeah. I rolled a 1, so it like hardly moved at all. So that's me just doing a bunch of jump moves. He's doing stuff underground. He made a mistake there and revealed his engineer. So this guy we're in my special function phase for turn 9, and I set off another nuke, and basically all my wounded in actions are getting stacked up on the space, because at the end of my movement phase, the boat's going to land, and as soon as you're in the hex with the boat, you're in the boat. So I'll have the 18 defense strength from the boat. So that's why all these guys are going ahead and getting in there. I get in, the boat comes down, all those guys are in the boat. So they're all safe. So now it's just the few guys that are left there. He's going to get his 10 more points here. Nothing I can do about it. Brought up his beam weapon. Did he attack something? Yeah, he brought up his beam weapon and rolled a 1. So he was trying to get this guy out here, because then he would get, triple points for them, and he rolled a 1. So it was fortunate that I got him to roll a 1 there. But, and then the boat takes off, and that's the end of the game. He'll get a whole bunch of points here. I think I might... Public? We did a count. Yeah, I think we're moving everything over here to count the number of points that he has. So he gets... So I'm hitting backs. So then he showed me his tunnels, and it's actually kind of technically illegal here because he has a 2-tunnel segment here. This tunnel should actually be out one more space. Because you don't count this one, it should go 1, 2, 3, and then his 10 hex tunnel segment. Let me get rid of the surface. So I was a little confused on how he built this. Oh, this is him. This was him rebuilding rather than using the X's. He rebuilt these tunnel segments. So if you change over to retire and go into solitaire, so I can actually move things. So there's his initial 10 And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he was actually 16 out this way, and then he dropped the 5 down this line. And that's what confused me. And then this one, he did something similar. He did 10 and then added 3. So he was out to here. And this one, he did something similar in that he had the this is him. Those were his rebuilds. So I'm just trying to get to this. So he has a 10 come out here. And see, I was counting from these back and not this one. And I should have counted from this one after he set off this nuke 6. Because that meant it had to be into a tunnel segment. And then I would have actually placed my engineers, if I had placed them 3 hexes further back, back here, I might have gotten some brains. Still wouldn't have won the game. Because if you look at the amount of units that I lost, it's just ridiculous. And I was showing him he could put down X's. I think this is us just talking about the game. And this one was, 10, 5, 3, 3, and then he just kept building segments all around out here. I really didn't understand why he was building these segments out here. They didn't make a lot of sense. If it had been me, I'd have been building segments into here, into my zone. These out here didn't make a lot of sense to me. But it worked for him. Again, that's me showing him how the X's can be used to be show destroyed tunnels instead of building new tunnel segments, which gets confusing here at the end game when you're trying to show what happened. Anyway, so there you have it. Did I put it in the notes? How much? No. But he had like a ton of... He had 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45 in 5-point turns, and then he had like 1 heavy, and the rest of these were all either KIAs or WIAs, which means they're all full points. So he just, he had something like 100 points, I think. I didn't do the math here real quick, but let's pull up the scenario real quick, and he gets... Where's the victory conditions? Victory conditions. So he gets 2, 4, 6, 8, and then there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's 44 and 8. So that's, what the hell is that? 44 and 8 is 52. And then he got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 28. So that was 70, 80. He had 83 in units and 45. So that's 128, which is about what I had when I played the bugs against a Terran player. And I got 3, 6, 9, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So 5, 10, 15, 19, and 9. I got 28. So 128 to 28. He beat me by at least 100 points. And in most scenario 2s, it's going to be that big. Unless you get lucky with the Terran player, when you're playing with all the rules, if your special talent comes out and happens to find where the brains are. If you know where the brains are, then if they're in this situation, if for some reason I had dropped my ST, say over here, like right here, and I'd have found this brain combo, this brain complex, he is in a world of hurt because he cannot ground attack me. So I could lay down an engineer here, here, and probably here, and he wouldn't have the brain power to, the beam power to stop all of those. So he would have still had C. He spent A, D, and E. E, D, and A. So he would have had B, and he would have had C, possibly. But by the same token, I would have also known that this breach was here, and this breach was here, which means I can actually just move an MI to those breaches. They can go in and actually get those brains that way, even if my engineers can't get them. So I could have gotten a couple brains, which would have given me a little better score. I still would have lost 120 some points in guys. And I'm not even counting the ST here. The ST was an extra 5, so he actually had like 133 or 140. So, just no. You're not going to win as the Terrans in scenario 2. The best you can hope for is to make a decent showing of yourself, but that's it. Unless you get lucky. Like I said, if you get lucky and you can find where the brains are, then you might be able to weasel your engineers in there and get off a nuke and take out some brains and get some points. But because they're like 20 points apiece, plus all their troops die too. But that's not a real high probability. So he did this very well. Definitely had me thinking incorrectly about where his, I didn't count right. I didn't think about building your tunnels that way, which I should have. But again, I put my ST, I had to choose whether he would put his... One of the reasons why I tend to put my brain complexes in the clear terrain is because then I can actually get warriors up to go take care of their engineers if my beam weapons get all trashed. So that's why I tend to do that as the bugs. This is a neat idea by putting it over here and having them run out this way with extra long things and then just building tunnels where you need them inside the perimeter. That works too. So there's many ways you can build this and just drive the Terran player nuts. And there's nothing the Terran player can really do. Okay? So, that was a really good game. Hopefully we will get around to doing... We're going to try and do all the scenarios. I don't know if we'll do 5B. I kind of think if you lose 5A, you have to do 5B as the Terrans, because that's the consequences of not winning at 5A. But I'll discuss that with my opponent later. I'm going to also be doing this from the bug side, the alien side. We've done scenario 2 and scenario 3. We did scenario 5A once, but I'm going to try and get my opponent that's playing the Terrans to just go through the whole sequence with me. So he'll do scenario 4 again, then scenario 5A, and just try and have a, sort of a sequence. I know in the scenario 5A that I played him as the bugs, I barely won because I got a lucky shot at the end of the game, and he ended up losing a guy for triple his points, which barely put me ahead of him. So that was a much closer game. And then I'd also like to do scenario 6 and 7 from the alien side and 6 and 7 from the Terran side. It would be interesting to see those more complex scenarios. Those might have to be shorter videos, like 2 videos to do those because there's so many units on the board. Anyway, I'm Dren608. If you like my videos, subscribe. Hit the like button no matter what, so that YouTube's algorithms will put this up there for people searching for videos on Starship Troopers. Until we meet again, stay safe and bye-bye.